New York's Lower East Side is very trendy these days, filled with fancy restaurants and nightclubs frequented by hipsters and celebrities. But one thing hasn't changed at all. There, on the corner of Rivington and Suffolk, is Streit's Matzo factory, turning out 25,000 pounds of matzah a day, as it's done nearly every day since 1925. Back then, the Lower East Side was a largely Jewish neighborhood, full of delis, pushcarts, and families. It looks ancient. I mean, I feel like I'm in a museum.
It's pretty much the way it's been since the 30s.
Alan Adler is the great-grandson of Aaron Streit, the company's founder.
So these old machines have been here since the building was here?
Pretty much. My great-grandfather started on the ground floor. Then they bought the buildings next door, expanded upwards. These are converted tenement buildings. These are old apartments.
Alan and his cousin Aaron, and his other cousin Aaron, no joke, still run the family business.
It's like you go to a cocktail party and you tell somebody you make matzah, they laugh. I don't know why, but they always seem to giggle.
This is Aaron Yagoda.
My grandfather told me to come in for the week. He wasn't feeling well, and I just never left, so.
25 years later.
25 years later.
And this is Aaron Gross.
We always say which Aaron, little Aaron, big Aaron, Yagoda, Gross.
Are you big Aaron or little Aaron?
Well, see, I'm little. I'm little because I'm younger.
Yeah.
He's in charge of sales. In some ways, says Aaron G., Streit's isn't his great-grandfather's matzah anymore.
We'll have matzah with sun-dried tomato, basil, garlic, and olive oil. We call
That's
that
your
the
Mediterranean
Yes,
matzah.
exactly.
My favorite is lightly salted.
Lightly salted tastes like a saltine cracker.
Only better.
Only better.
But matzah that's kosher for Passover comes in just one flavor and has just 2 ingredients.
The secret recipe for Passover matzah is 80 pounds of flour and 30 pounds of water.
It's just flour and water, that's it?
All we're allowed to bake matzah from, because that's what happened back in Egypt.
For those who don't know the story of Passover, Rabbi Meir Kirshner explains.
The 8-day holiday of Passover commemorates the Jewish people leaving slavery from Egypt.
Right.
And they didn't have enough time for the dough to rise. They went into the desert with the dough on their shoulder. The sun baked it, and boop, we had our unleavened bread, matzah.
At Streit's, there's a team of rabbis on hand to see that it's all done according to kosher law. The whole process, from mixing to baking, must be completed in less than 18 minutes to ensure that the dough does not rise.
So when does the clock begin for the 18 minutes? Like,
As soon as the water hits the flour.
all right.
After the mixing, the dough is pushed down to the floor below to be rolled thin before baking. And those little holes in the matzah? Another way to ensure that dough doesn't even think about rising. Then into the ovens, 800 degrees. A couple of minutes is all it takes.
What does it taste like hot? I've never had hot matzah.
Take a piece.
Ooh, oh, it's hot. Very good.
It's amazing how flour and water can taste so good.
I know.
After that, the matzah cools as it snakes its way through the floors of the old tenement buildings.
Terribly inefficient,
But it's tradition.
and this is what Grandpa left us.
Oh.
And it's the way Aaron Streit's great-grandchildren like it.
We've had this pink box, I don't know, since the 40s, and everybody's like, why is it pink? I'm not sure why, but we're not going to change it.
No,
right?
of course not.
In a world where everything seems to be changing every day, it's nice to know that some things remain the same.
There's a lot of nostalgia here. We work and walk in the same halls our fathers worked in, our grandfathers walked in these halls, our great-grandfather walked in these halls, and there's a lot of memories here.
Flour and water, mixed with tradition and respect for the past. That's a pretty good recipe.